All right, hello there, welcome back to another wee bit different video. Today's video, we're gonna talk about the breaking news. Pascal Siakam is now an Indiana Pacer. Now, there are some of you who are like, oh my God, this is amazing. There are some of you who are like, well, he's a free agent after the season. How is it gonna go? Is he gonna resign? He's probably gonna resign. Some of you who are like, I'm not really familiar with Pascal Siakam's game. And for those of you that are on the third one, it's fine. We've all been there. Sometimes there are star players or really good players or even solid players who we just don't really know about because they're not on our favorite team, and the Raptors aren't necessarily a good team, so you're not really familiar with the Raptors. It happens. I get it. I got you covered. But first and foremost, let's talk about the standings and where the Pacers are now. Pacers are 23-17. That leaves them at 6th seed. Very close to the Heat, very close to the Cavs. Shit, honestly, at this point, still very close to the Sixers. And how many games? They're 5 games behind the Bucks. Technically speaking, that's within arm's reach. Do I think the Pacers will get there? No. But who knows what's going to happen with this Pascal Siakam trade, because he adds an element to the team that they really needed. They needed that second guy, that second player who is a definitive star. And Miles Turner, he's not a definitive star. He honestly, in my opinion, he's not even a star player. He's a good player, a really good player, but not a star player. Aside from him, the next best you could argue is Buddy. But before we proceed any further, though, let's talk about the trade details. Woj right here. Indiana Pacers are finalizing a trade to acquire all-star forward Pascal Siakam in a deal that will send Bruce Brown, Jordan Nwora, and 3 first-round picks to the Toronto Raptors. New Orleans will be a third team in a deal, sending Kira Lewis to the Raptors. Not sure why New Orleans would do that unless maybe salary reasons, or you know what? I'm sure Reddit has the answer. I could just easily go to that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get some quick reactions. Pascal will top comment, by the way. Pascal will benefit so much from a playmaker like Halliburton. This team is going to be fun to watch. So for those of you that are unfamiliar, yes, I know I'm turning this way. I got my tablet right here. But for those of you unfamiliar with the Pacers game and why they're, fun to watch, they are first in points per game in the whole NBA. They are second in pace, meaning they play super, super, super fast. They are first in field goal percentage, meaning they hit a lot of shots, like they're making them. They're 6th in the whole NBA in 3 points field goal attempts per game. So how many threes they do shoot, they're 6th in the NBA. They're also 6th in percentage in terms of making those threes. So 3-point field goal percentage, they're 6th. They're also 6th in free throw percentage. That, I wouldn't say that makes them entertaining, but it really adds toward their high scoring. Rebound, they're not good at all. That's getting a little bit off topic, but yeah, they shoot a lot, they score a lot, they hit a lot of the shots they do shoot. Also, their assist percentage is number 1, and their assist stat period is number 1 in all of NBA. So this team is highly fast-paced, highly potent from the 3, highly potent from really all facets of the offensive game. 3 late first-rounders and Bruce Brown, which can be flipped for another good young asset. Not a bad trade, to be honest. What kind of young asset is this guy thinking? Young asset, good young asset. What kind of player could Bruce Brown bring you? Solid role player, but a good young asset might be a bit of a stretch. 3 late first rounders is correct, though, because they will be getting the Pacers pick this year, the worst pick between Utah and OKC, which is not going to be a high pick, and then 2026 first round pick 1 through 4 protected, meaning if it is for whatever reason the Pacers are really bad and they get the 1st through 4th, they keep it. But other than that, it would go to the Raptors. So honestly, this is a really solid trade for the Raptors. They were going to get rid of Siakam at some point. Okay, now we're going to talk about Pascal Siakam's game a little bit. For those of you that are a little unfamiliar, I'm going to pull up his stats. But off the top of my head, I can tell you that this guy is averaging around 22 points per game. Not a great 3-point shooter. Like, I'm talking 31%, if that. So because he doesn't shoot very well, it's interesting how Tyrese is going to, make it work. But In all honesty, I think that with Pascal getting really wide open 3-point opportunities, he'll probably be shooting around 35% is my guess with the Pacers. He'll be like wide open on a lot of his 3-point attempts, let's be honest. Pascal will add a level of slashing to the Pacers that they really just didn't have before. A guy that you can just give the ball to and kind of let him cook a little bit. Also very lengthy, very versatile. Gonna bring that versatility on the defensive end as well. So honestly, a really solid player who has been the second best player on the team before. That's a championship team, which would be the Raptors when Kawhi was there. He was the second best player. So Pascal can be the second best player on a championship team. The difference is Kawhi and Tyrese Halliburton, but also even then the coaching and the role players, they're very different teams. But my point is Pascal can be a second guy. He can be a 1B or at least a 2A is my point. Pascal is 52% field goal percentage, 31% from 3, which is not good. But I think with Tyrese Halliburton, he could be shooting definitely 35%. A lot of open looks he'll be getting. Free throw percentage, 75.8. Rebounds, 6.3, which honestly, they need any rebounding they can get. The Pacers are not a good rebounding team. Assists, 4.9. Blocks, steals, nothing crazy. But again, that 22 points is going to be crucial. Okay, so here's some small insight. I shouldn't say small, but here's some insight into the Kira Lewis thing. The inclusion of Kira Lewis from New Orleans allowed Indiana to match Pascal Siakam's salary without including another player besides Bruce Brown and Jordan Nwora. Pelicans had been looking to move Lewis dating back to this past offseason. So it's nice that we get some of those answers. Also, this is kind of cool. Pacers' next trip to Toronto is Valentine's Day 2024. So yeah, there's a lot to talk about really with how this team is going to be working with their rotations. I think that Pascal Siakam, like I said though, will add some versatility on both ends of the floor and really fill in a hole that they were lacking and that they didn't have a good second guy. No disrespect to Miles Turner, but he can't be the second best player on a championship team. It's just not going to happen. Pascal, on the other hand, does add that element of experience, scoring, defense. Not only that, he's willing to make the selfless play. He's willing to swing it out. He's willing to do the right thing and not just try to take it on himself. Again, the 3-point shot might hinder them slightly, but I think he will bump that average to 35% with Tyrese Halliburton on the team. All in all, how do I feel about this trade? For sure, it's an A trade for the Raptors. Like, they got a good haul. Pacers, I'm not sure it moves the needle, to be honest. Like, do you think this puts them at 3 seed, 4 seed? I would say they're better than the Cavs now. Because, even then, the Cavs, they haven't been healthy, but I don't trust the Cavs in the playoffs at all. It's honestly tough to say. Like, are they better than the Knicks? This is, I would say they're better than the Knicks, maybe. Would they beat the Knicks in a series? I don't know. Honestly, this East race is really tight. Like, there's some really solid teams here. Like, if you ask me right now who would win, Pacers and the Cavs are in a series, I think it'd be really close. Knicks, Pacers in a series. I think the Knicks' veteran experience and just being familiar with that spot might help them more. But adding Pascal does change things in a really positive way. I still don't think the Pacers I don't think they have a chance against the Celtics. I just don't do that. The Celtics are just too fucking good. We'll see though. This will end up being a bad trade if Pascal decides to just leave anyway in free agency. If he does leave in free agency, this will have been a bad trade because the difference between trading for Kawhi on a 1-year rental is Kawhi's a superstar. You could compete for a championship. Adding Pascal, trading away some important assets for 1 year or a half a year, and then he up and decides and leaves. That would be a disastrous trade because I just don't see how they could win a championship with this roster. They could beat the Knicks, Heat, Cavs, shit, maybe even Sixers in a series. I don't see them beating the Bucks or Celtics in the series. In the playoffs, that's a lot to ask for. But who knows? You know, we have to wait to see this roster put together in a game. I mean, it's one player, but a player like Pascal changes so much because now he's your second best player on the team that really just needed that true second best player. Every team needs that second guy, the one who's the right hand to the best players. Let me know what you guys think of the trade, though. Honestly, risky for the Pacers. If they can re-sign PASCAL, it's great. If they can't imagine it's going to end up well. But as always, I appreciate you guys for watching. This is Ollie Been Different. We've been different. And we out.